Hello, and welcome to the Underpaid Gamers Podcast. My name is Tony. I'm with my friend and colleague, Justin.
Hello.
We're having an adult podcast today, which means that we both have beers.
Beercast.
That's all the adulting that will be happening.
That's it. That's literally all that there is.
We have a hodgepodge of things to talk about today.
Yeah, real hodgepodge. I think that's the best way to describe it.
So stay tuned and find out what we're doing after the theme song. The Underpaid Gamers is the official podcast of underpaidgamers.com. If you're listening on YouTube, thanks. If you're listening on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Google Play, or any other podcast service, thank you as well.
Yep.
You can find us on Twitch. You can find us on Twitter at UPGamersPodcast. You can email us at underpaidgamerspodcast@gmail.com.
True.
We have a Facebook page that you can like. And that's it.
Yep.
I believe.
I don't think we missed anything.
You know what I miss?
What do you miss?
Winning and Smash. We just played Smash.
We did.
3 games. And you beat me 2 of them.
2 out of 3.
I am crushed beyond belief.
66 2/3% win ratio on me. I have the advantage. I have the high ground, Anakin.
No.
Don't try it.
No. It's awful. I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, the first 2 games were very serious.
It's always serious.
Dude, I played Luigi and Jigglypuff.
Oh, no. We played 4 games.
We went 2 and 2.
We went 2 and 2. I'm back up. Back on top.
Yeah, because I did my first round. We did Luigi.
No, the first round we did Donkey Kong and Jigglypuff.
Yeah, that was weird.
And then Mario and Luigi.
That was the theme battle.
And then Kirby versus your young Link.
True. And then Fox versus Fox.
Fox Dittos.
Which is our more serious setup.
So I sorely lost.
I got him with one nice shine spike, which made me very happy because it's the thing he did to me so much. When you do the up B fire recovery to the map thing.
Now normally I'm not allowed. I don't allow myself to quit on a loss.
It's
but
true.
we both promised that we'll be playing again after the podcast.
Yes.
So those ratios will change.
Haha! I lied. I'm leaving. Haha. Just kidding.
I'll murder you.
I'm playing. So yeah,
What's been going on?
I have been diving so much into Star Wars theories based on the trailer, breakdowns
Episode
of it.
8 trailer.
Yeah, Episode 8,
Yes.
the Last Jedi trailer. I have been, today specifically,
I have read some things. I have listened to some things.
I watched at least 4 YouTube videos.
Daily?
Each at least 15 minutes. Today.
On one 2-minute trailer.
Yes. Breakdowns, theories. I got on Wikipedia and looked up some things.
There you go. Figure out the name of that desert planet yet? Crate?
Crate, yes.
I also knew that. And I have not listened
Do you
or watched
know,
that much.
Do you know why the smoke is red?
Because it's in Arizona and they have red dirt?
No. That is not why.
Then tell me.
Crate has a layer of salty earth on the top, very thin layer, and underneath it is this like rusty iron
Yeah, so Arizona.
filled dirt. So that's why it's red. That is what I read.
Oh my gosh.
See what I did there?
Yes. Everyone saw what you did
So
there.
good! So, did you know that...
So good, or would you say it's great?
I would say it's pretty great. Nice.
Back on top.
Finn in his
Finn
pod.
and his infinite wisdom.
Someone in the Star Wars nerddom
Yes.
decided that they were going to translate the words that were on his pod because there's like all these digital words.
Are there words?
There are. They're in the Star Wars language.
How do you translate that?
You know the Star Wars language.
So there's a thing where this symbol equals A.
Yes.
Or
Yep.
whatever.
Or a sound or something. Most of it was gibberish except for the word stable. One of them said the word stable.
Wow, so he's stable.
Yep.
We see him later in the trailer and he's fine.
So the question is, in the top corner, when Finn is in that stasis thing, it almost looks like he's in hyperspace, which I noticed the first time I watched it. It looks like he's in a pod in hyperspace.
Why do you think that?
Because it's like flashing blue. It's almost like that effect. I'd have to show it to you, and I don't know if we want to do that right now.
So you're seeing the reflection of the passing stars on his pod?
Sort of. You know, after they do the star lines...
You know who has the worst hyperspace time travel imagery? Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
That stuff is awful.
It's real bad.
There was another...
But it's like iconic, though.
There was another thing I saw that did that, too. I'm like, that's pretty bad, too.
And I like Doctor Who a lot, and it's terrible.
Back to the Future has some great stuff.
Yes, true. I love Back to the Future special effects.
I have a poster. It's not up yet.
It's really good. I like the fire tires.
Yes.
The best part.
Out of time. Is the license plate.
1.21 gigawatts!
Something like that.
That's exactly how many.
6 teraflops!
Yeah. So, that Finn, yes, that was one thing.
Wait, what does that mean?
Well,
he's stable and he's in hyperspace?
Yes.
Is he going to rescue?
What was that?
I don't know.
Is that your wife?
Probably.
Is she okay?
She better be. Because I'm not going up there.
So he's stable, which could mean a lot of things. It's obvious that he's moving somewhere. Because
is he going to go protect Rey from Luke, who turned evil and was going to kill everybody?
That's one of the theories right now.
That Luke is evil?
That Luke is the Sith.
What backing is there to that?
He said the Jedi need to end. There's not a lot. I don't put a lot of merit into that theory.
Like his father.
But
Hereditary.
Here's a few details that I failed to mention last week.
Okay, let me know.
That I think could be beneficial to those Star Wars fans who are pretty in deep, you know. A few things. First off, the new Star Wars canon post.
And by that you mean the story that is true to the universe, and not an actual Ion canon.
What does an Ion canon have to do with
Star Wars canon?
Oh, gotcha. Yes, I wasn't tracking. Not an Ion.
The canon was not tracking.
Yes, no, not that.
Which canon are we talking about?
I'm talking about the established truth.
Okay, of the Star Wars universe.
Of the Star Wars universe.
As told by?
As told by Disney.
The historians? The victors?
The storytelling committee in Star Wars, which I saw some of them in Star Wars Celebration. They're huge nerds. It was great.
I bet they are.
I enjoyed it. Except for when they said, sometimes we make mistakes and then we just fix it by going back and, saying things a different way the next episode. I was like, you guys are sketchy.
Midichlorians?
Question mark? No. Here's some details. Number one. The tree. There is a tree.
Yeah, that Luke lives in.
Apparently. Mm-hmm. You've seen this.
I've seen the trailer.
Okay. So
they think that that's the tree that was in Rebels that he took, and then someone else's family took.
Not from Rebels. It's from a graphic novel that I have.
Oh.
Called Shattered Empire.
Okay.
Where you meet Poe Dameron's mother and father.
Yeah, that's who it is.
Who are ace pilots.
They take it.
And Luke takes 2 from the old Jedi Temple.
Because there's only 2.
And he gives 1 to Poe Dameron's parents.
Correct.
Which maybe explains why he's so good at flying. It's unknown. It's not established.
Maybe he's just good at flying.
Maybe it's the Force. And then the second one, apparently he's taken to Skellig Michael.
Han is good at flying. He doesn't have the Force.
You don't know that.
Is Han good at flying?
I know. Most of his evasive maneuvers are like long left turns.
And landing.
Maybe
he's just good at landing.
And Lando takes it through the Death Star in Episode 6, so maybe Han Solo's not good at...
And Rey flies it in Episode 7 when it does the most.
Yeah, that's like the coolest.
Like, what's the big part in Episode 4? He flies straight towards the trench.
Whoa. We are totally forgetting Episode 5, asteroid scene.
No, I was remembering that.
Oh. I was not thinking that.
His main maneuver in that is landing on an asteroid, so...
That's true. But, they dodge a bunch of asteroids. And then they do an attack run on a Star Destroyer, accelerate really quickly, and then somehow attach to the back end of the Star Destroyer. That's pretty impressive.
He does exit hyperspace, Episode 7, in the planet's atmosphere.
Yes, that's pretty cool.
You think that'd be automated? You think he's doing that by himself? You think he has to, or do you think he just punches in the coordinates?
I think he just... I would assume you just punch in the coordinates.
Yeah, so how much flying is he actually doing? The asteroid field would probably be the highest test of his ability that we've seen.
I would say so. I would agree with that.
But Rey and Lando do better jobs.
Arguably harder, I would say. Much more confined space in both cases.
Rey's.
One going through a Star Destroyer, Lando going through the Death Star trench run.
Yes.
The harder one.
Yeah.
So maybe... I don't know. Maybe Han's not that great at flying.
Or just in general.
Who knows?
We'll never know because he's dead.
Ford kind of crashed his plane a couple times too. So
art imitates life.
I guess.
The young Han Solo film, maybe he'll do some cool flying, and you're like, oh, okay, he's all right.
Yeah, somebody interviewed Harrison Ford about the new Han Solo movie.
Yeah,
and he said,
I don't care.
He doesn't know if he doesn't know if he's gonna go see it because he said it's going to be weird for him to go watch somebody else play his character.
Maybe it's just gonna be weird for him because he doesn't like Star Wars.
That could be it as well.
I don't want to see it because I don't like Star Wars.
I'm not convinced that he does. I think it's all just like a Disney ploy that he likes because there have been interviews on the last.
You're not convinced that he does what?
Like Star Wars. Because he's come out and said since the Last Jedi came, or the Force Awakens came out, he said, I have newfound respect for Star Wars.
Oh.
It started my career. Like he said all these things about how grateful he is to Star Wars and how he loves the fans and all that stuff. It's a ploy. People really don't change that much, I don't think. Especially when you're old. You don't change a lot when you're old. I don't think he likes Star Wars. I think he likes the paycheck.
For a long time.
I know, and that was like common knowledge, but then he came out and said all these things, and I don't believe him.
Okay.
But he did come to Star Wars Celebration, but I still don't believe him.
He probably got paid for that.
Yeah, that's
everybody was there.
He likes money. Not everyone was there.
He likes pot.
We were missing one. He likes pop?
Pot. Marijuana. Mary Jane.
Harrison Ford likes
the devil's
marijuana.
lettuce.
He does?
He's a big smoker.
I didn't know that.
You're way out.
I don't know anything about Harrison Ford and weed.
He has a pilot's license. He has an earring.
I know the earring.
He likes the reefer.
I saw him pierce. Whose ears was it? Jimmy Fallon's ear?
Oh.
So he pierced somebody's ear on air. It was weird.
Wow. So what are we talking about? How did we get here?
Something
about Star Wars. We're talking about the trees.
The trees. So Jedi holocrons. You know what those are?
Why don't you tell the people in the audience that are less as educated about Star Wars as I am, and I'll listen in and correct you whenever you say anything wrong.
Well, I won't say anything wrong about Star Wars. So a holocron is like the repository of Jedi knowledge. And Sith have their own versions too, Sith holocrons. And we see them...
Horcrux?
No. We see them in...
the library in episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
And probably the other 3 first episodes.
And in Rebels, we see a Sith holocron. And in the Clone Wars cartoon
Does it look like a cryptogram from Destiny? Because that's what I'm picturing.
It looks like a box. And the Sith ones look like a triangle. Like a pyramid. So... apparently, repositories of Jedi knowledge, and they're passed down, and they're ancient, and they're very religious.
Okay.
Well, apparently, in the new canon, these trees are the new version of holocrons.
They have all the information.
It's like a wellspring of the Force or something, and you can connect with the past.
Okay.
So, because of that, and the tree in which Luke apparently lives or has on the island, which there's set pictures of the tree. If you want to go Google it, you can find it.
It's also in the trailer. He lives in it.
Yes. Well, it's not very clear in the trailer.
Oh, you can tell.
I mean, you see from the inside.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Either way.
I know what a tree looks like from the outside.
I don't know what it looks like from the inside. I've never been inside the tree before.
The trailer.
Oh, okay. Well, that clears everything up. Either way, this tree, some people say this is the Jedi tree that he took from Shattered Empire in that graphic novel.
Which is now canon.
Which is now canon.
Or has always been canon.
It is canon since it was created, the graphic novel. So, because of that, it has a deep connection to the Force. Usually, holocrons were tied to specific Jedi.
Okay.
Some think that this means that we're going to get Force ghosts in episode 8.
We've already thought that.
Of obviously the main people who would be able to do it. Which would be... Qui-Gon
Jinn was the first one, right?
Right. You have 4 people to pick from. Qui-Gon Jinn never did it in the movies, but it's talked about at the end of episode 3. Between Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi, after the twins are born. Very briefly. Yoda says, old friend of yours came and visited me, yes? And then he's like, oh, Qui-Gon. He's like, new trick to live beyond death. So,
wait.
Mm-hmm.
He says Qui-Gon. Does Yoda answer yes? What does Yoda say? What if that's reference to Obi-Wan's hidden lover?
Oh
who then
my gosh.
births the line of Rey Kenobi.
No, I think it goes Qui-Gon. And then he is affirmative in some way. We'd have to watch
Yoda's quite the trickster.
Maybe. But either way, there's 4 to choose from. We know Qui-Gon can do it. we've seen Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Anakin do it. So the idea is that when Luke is talking about, there's only one thing I know that the Jedi should end.
You think he's talking to them?
He's talking to the Force Ghosts, I think, because that's like the end of a conversation. Maybe he could be right too, but it would make sense that would be like kind of above what she knows, right? Because she just like got there and is training, and she lived on Jakku for like the whole time.
I mean, she can't be like, train me to be a Jedi, and he's like, no.
I don't know. It just seems from the line that it's the end of a long conversation about the Jedi. Which could be with Rey, but also why would she? I mean, he could potentially open up with a conversation about that, but I think it leans to the possibility that he could be talking to Yoda or Obi-Wan or potentially Qui-Gon, but that wouldn't make really any sense. Or Anakin even,
no Qui-Gon.
Or Obi-Wan and Yoda, like he does in Dagobah. Who knows?
What do you think Anakin's up to these days? Like, what would happen if he had a conversation with Kylo?
I don't know. Some people think in one of the drafts of the script, he was going to show up as a Force Ghost, and there's like concept art made up of Anakin as a Force Ghost, and it's like super creepy because like half of him is light side and half of him is dark side.
Huh.
It's like some creepy stuff. So
is that all your Star Wars theories?
No, Book of the Wheels, Journal of the Wheels 2 is in there. Some say. So last week I referenced how I thought maybe he'd be pursuing the Grey Jedi path, essentially.
Yes.
I wouldn't call it the Grey Jedi. Some say that perhaps he's going to reference the Journal of the Wills, which is referenced in the Clone Wars cartoon series, but also like in the original script of the original Star Wars film, everything was about this Journal of the Wills.
That was the original name of it.
Yeah,
of the movie.
It was. And the Jedi were called like the Jedi Bandu or something like that, and they had like all these references, which eventually they brought back into like the Clone Wars cartoon, like a version of it. And so some people think that perhaps because the Wills are supposed to be this even more ancient Force users than the Jedi, like they precede the Jedi in the Star Wars canon, that Luke is confronting the fact that the Jedi have been a failure through everything that we've seen, and that perhaps he needs to go back further to find the appropriate use of the Force, which Qui-Gon learned how to do the Force Ghosts from the Wills, apparently, because that's what that's in the Clone Wars cartoon, and at the one of the last episodes, Yoda like sees the Wills, and it's crazy. So. Some people say that maybe he's going to bring in that aspect of the Star Wars expanded universe as well. So that's pretty much what I got with that. That's interesting stuff. Real deep Star Wars talk, as in really specific things you've probably never heard of before if you're not really into Star Wars. Journal of the Wills.
So no real predictions for the movie, other than he might be talking to Force Ghosts when that one line happens.
Are you disappointed?
Yeah, where are your fan theories at? Like, and he lives in a tree.
The fan theories was it could be the Wills, or it could be Grey Jedi, or he could turn to the Sith. Some people say that he's actually the Sith Lord and that Kylo and Snoke are actually the Last Jedi. Which makes no sense to me, but
I don't agree.
That's what one of the fan theories is. That's what I got.
While we're on the topic
with Star Wars, what's that?
Of space travel and battles in the Galactics.
Yep.
Guardians of the Galaxy stuff.
Yep.
It's happening.
I literally thought it was out today.
Yes, you did. You said, hey, let's go see this. And I said, it's not May 5th. I was a little disappointed in you.
I was a little bit surprised that it wasn't May 5th.
As excited as you are for this movie. You don't know when it comes out?
Look.
Rough.
Time. I don't track time very well.
Anyways, Guardians of the Galaxy. 2 things. James Gunn, the director for both 1 and 2,
sure,
has signed on to be part of 3, although earlier in the year he said he wouldn't. So he's back, baby.
Nice.
That's good.
He did a good job with the first one.
Yeah, and I assume they'll do a good job with the second one.
That's what I think too.
We could have known today, but
apparently not.
Apparently not.
Today's not the day that I thought today was.
As well as that, the first episode of the Telltale Games Guardians of the Galaxy was released.
I did see that.
Episode 1 is out now, and it's going to be on disc May 2nd. so before the movie comes out, the disc will be the season pass. So with Telltale Games, they have like 5 episodes per quote-unquote game. If you buy the disc, you'll get all 5 episodes once they're released. They release them episodically.
Sure.
So they release episode 1, and then a couple months later, they release episode 2.
Yeah.
Or I don't know how long it takes them. Maybe a year. I honestly don't know. I've never played a game. It's been getting good reviews on the first episode. I, again, am still disappointed that this is the Guardians game we're getting, and not something much cooler.
Not a big fan of Telltale.
It's not that, because like I said, I haven't played their games. I hear that they have really good stories and really good like character development, but really bad engine. I'm more disappointed in the fact that I think the Guardians have a cool dynamic, and it'll be fun to play as those characters, as opposed to watching a novella develop.
Right. You would like something a little more engaging.
Yes.
Do you not see Telltale Games as like a AAA game, but more of like a AA game?
Probably. Maybe. I mean, there's not a lot of gameplay to it. It's a lot of... See, I wanted something... Maybe this is too cliched, but along the lines of Mass Effect. Whereas you have the whole galaxy that you can choose to go from. You could even say like Ratchet and Clank-esque.
Sure.
Because Ratchet and Clank, you have all these planets and all these galaxies that you go to.
Sure.
And then from there, there's individual planets that you can go to, and you can play as different characters. So, I mean, maybe even like a really cool Ratchet and Clank Guardians of the Galaxy type game, where you have these missions. I mean, you played Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
It came out in 2016.
It was super good. I almost bought it.
Yeah.
Again. Well, I borrowed it. I almost bought it. I was at the store and it was like
$20.
$17.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, this is so good. I kind of want 100% it.
It is so much fun.
It's so good.
See, that would be a fun game for like Guardians of the Galaxy. Because everyone has guns.
Yeah.
And you could choose, I don't know, you could choose characters for the level or whatever. Or you do Mass Effect, where it's almost beat for beat what Mass Effect would be.
Yeah, you have a
team.
ship and you have a team and you talk to them and you get to know them.
Yeah.
And you go make decisions.
And then you're going to fight all these comic book heroes. So it would be Mass Effect except in a Marvel universe, which would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be really cool.
But instead, we have a Telltale Games, which is Guardians of the Galaxy. I just feel like there's so much of a huge potential for what this game could have been, and then Telltale Games swept it up. It's like, what if Telltale Games did a Spider-Man game? You'd be like, what a letdown that would be. Instead of Spider-Man PS4, which we assume is going to be awesome, from what we've seen, it looks good. If instead it's just Peter Parker or Spider-Man doing stuff. So Telltale Games did an excellent Batman feature.
I heard.
But we've also had dozens and dozens of Batman games since the beginning of time.
Right.
So it's not like we're missing out on anything.
In this generation.
Yeah. So it's not like we're missing out on anything. I don't think... Maybe I'm wrong. I guess I'd hope to be wrong on this one. But I don't think Marvel or Disney or anyone that's making these games would go, we have this Telltale game for Guardians of the Galaxy, also this other type of game for Guardians of the Galaxy. Sure. I think that would flood the market.
Potentially.
I made a video a long time ago.
You did?
With old editing software about what game specifically I want Marvel to be working on.
I remember watching that.
It's on our YouTube channel.
It's a good one.
I think I have good ideas. I could do a much better episode. I've been thinking about remaking it with better ideas and better graphics.
And up to date.
Yeah, but it is old.
Yeah. You made some good videos. I like the compliment sandwich is still probably my favorite thing you ever did. That's a good one.
We will talk about Call of Duty. That was a Call of Duty Infinite Warfare compliment sandwich. We'll talk about Call of Duty later in the episode. I think that's all I have for Guardians of the Galaxy. Unless you want to talk more about what you expect from the movie. No? You just kind of want to wait till the movie comes out? Don't speculate?
I don't. I haven't read any speculation.
It's a hard thing to speculate because Guardians of the Galaxy is so like...
It's really whatever. It's so sporadic.
It's far out there. Stallone's in it. Right. Kurt Russell's in it.
I know. I saw Stallone and I was like, what is this?
What is happening?
But also, I'm kind of like... my initial reaction was, that's kind of cool that Stallone's in it. Because, out of all the Marvel movies, what should Stallone be in? Obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy is, the best choice. Because it's so slap happy and maybe slap happy is not the right word for it, but out of all it's the least serious.
So you think
Stallone's
not a comedic actor. Stallone's a punchy out actor.
Yeah, I know, but
maybe not anymore. He's
not anymore.
He's an action star.
The fact that he is an action star. What if Arnold Schwarzenegger tried to get into the Marvel universe? What should he be in? Well, to me, obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy. He'd be a great Like,
why is it obvious?
What's his name? Jean-Claude Van Damme. Which one should he be in? Guardians of the Galaxy. This is super obvious. Jackie Chan, where should he be in? Guardians of the Galaxy. Because it's like...
Because it's a comedy?
Because it's more of a comedy. Because it is very action-packed.
Because kind of anything goes is what you're saying?
Yeah, and it's like, it's one of those shows, because it's so vast, like, New York City, Iron Man, right? Spider-Man, New York City, very closed system. If you saw Arnold Schwarzenegger, you'd be like, oh, that's a weird cameo. But all of a sudden, you're in some weird, I don't know, space station in the middle of the galaxy somewhere. You get in trouble with the law. They sit you down. All of a sudden, Arnold Schwarzenegger comes out of nowhere. You're like, that's hilarious. Arnold Schwarzenegger in this movie, it will fit because he's in the. It's I don't know. I'm not making any sense right now.
That but O'Reilly guy was in it. I can't remember his name. He was
Bill O'Reilly.
No, half of the Step Brothers. Will Ferrell. Then also,
yeah, he was in it too. Yeah, in the first one.
He's going to be in this one too. I don't remember his name.
So I don't know. I feel like cameos make the most sense in Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what I got. I don't really have. I have an intuition about it, but I can't really explain it very well.
You just got to feel.
I've attempted it twice.
You're saying you're
can't do it.
Hooked on a feeling?
I would say that perhaps
Hi, I'm believing.
The best way to describe how I'm feeling is a little bit of ooga chaka.
Ooga chaka?
Ooga chaka.
Ooga chaka.
Ooga chaka. Ooga chaka. Exactly.
Hooked on a feeling.
Okay, we'll stop.
Sorry
guys.
Speaking of good songs in movies and trailers,
yeah,
which is the general way to make a trailer these days, is to put like an 80s classic or like a 60s classic or just like a classic rock song in.
Yeah, it has to be like themed by a decade.
Yeah.
And you have to stick to that music.
And for whatever reason, they did that with Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. What happened? Like, hello, 80s.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that, but it has all the like 80s psychedelic
effects on the title.
And the font and the music.
Yeah.
But also the trailer. We didn't talk about it last week. We're going to talk about it now.
Right.
Thor Ragnarok trailer 1. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is that I was very happy with it.
It was so good.
But I found this to be very divisive of people. Some people said they hated the trailer that I talked to.
What were their reasons for disliking it?
They thought it was weird. They thought it didn't feel like a Thor movie.
You don't want it to feel like have you seen the first 2 Thor movies?
Well,
you don't want it to feel like that.
My thought is like this is something totally different than what we've seen in Thor movies, which I like the first Thor movie.
This is a comedy.
I like the second Thor movie. Both of those are fine. But when I saw the trailers for those, I thought that's going to be cool. Like Asgard looks cool. I like Norse mythology.
Well, it did look cool.
Then
it got blown up.
This one, I'm like, what the cuss is going on here? Holy cow!
Oh, yeah.
And it looked really funny, which we didn't have in the other Thor movies, really. I mean, there's some funny humor, I guess, in the first one.
There is that excellent cameo by Chris Evans in Thor 2.
Yes.
Where Loki transforms into Captain America.
And he, walks next to him.
That took me so off guard, because I watched Thor 2 years and years after it came out. So people were obviously had stopped talking about it. So I was watching it and I'm like, what the heck? That's so awesome.
So I'm super excited. And the fact that Hulk is in another movie that's not Avengers. I miss the Hulk.
Yes.
I miss Dr. Banner.
There's speculation that this is like a quote unquote road trip movie for Hulk and Thor. So there's some speculation that everything you saw in the trailer is like the first half hour of the movie.
Dang.
Ish.
That's
cool. I would assume that there's the invasion that takes place on Asgard, where Thor's hammer gets broken by whatever her name is. Yes.
Lady.
Sure.
I think it's the best way to describe
her. And then Asgard gets destroyed. I assume Loki was probably the one that brought her there. Because later, when Thor is fighting Hulk, you see Loki on the couch with whoever that is.
A bunch of other rink rats or something.
Yeah. So Loki looks free. So I assume that he probably made a deal, and he's a jerk anyway.
Sure.
So the movie might almost open up with Asgard getting taken down. And then Thor gets captured, obviously.
Yeah.
Gets his hair cut, gets his face painted, gets some new styrofoam-looking weapons.
Nice.
Because they look like styrofoam.
They really do. That's all right.
And then he fights the Hulk. Because for whatever reason, the Hulk doesn't recognize him. I mean, not whatever reason.
I think he did recognize him, though.
You think he just wants to fight?
I think he's really angry.
Do you think he's really angry, or do you think he's like finally someone that will challenge me?
I don't know. That look I just saw made me think that he recognized him.
Yeah.
I think his reaction is, I don't care, I'm gonna beat the crap out of this guy. But I think he recognizes him. Maybe not though.
They've had their punches before.
They've fought in a helicarrier once.
And Avengers 2012, which is awesome.
Which is a great movie.
And then Hulk punches Thor off after they take down the giant worm flying thing, which is also very funny.
Yeah, that was a good moment.
So I assume they're going to fight for a little bit, and then they'll probably be friends. And people say that after that, it's the road trip movie. So they're going to be buddy going wherever they need to go. From what I understand, Mark Ruffalo, who plays Bruce Banner, who turns into the Hulk, was only on set for a limited amount of days. Okay. So you probably won't see a lot of Mark Ruffalo in this movie. Mostly
just CGI Hulk.
Mostly just the Hulk.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fun.
It is.
It's also in space, so how's a human, an Earthling, going to survive in space?
Correct.
Without being the Hulk.
That's a good point.
So it'll be fun to see, like, the two strongest Avengers just tearing through people.
I know. I'm excited.
Like, literally the strongest.
I'm excited. I hope we get a scene of just lots of little minions who just get crushed.
My favorite.
I literally just watched Rogue One again with my homeroom at school, and
some great education there.
Well, it's my homeroom. We just hang out and do homework and we watch movies, and so that Darth Vader scene, I love it with the hallway because it shows how powerful he is. It shows the fear in the minions, right? Like all the rebel soldiers are just like so outclassed by Darth Vader. It's ridiculous. It's hilarious. It's hilarious, somewhat.
I was just thinking. I don't know why I was thinking this, but what if the Hulk was at the Battle of Middle Earth, the two towers?
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Like no contest, right?
No contest.
Like which Avenger? I would pose a question: which Avenger would do the best there? But I think would it be the Hulk? Or do you think it would be Thor? Or maybe Iron Man?
It depends.
Whoever has the biggest reach, right?
I would say, with no preparation, Thor would be the best because he wouldn't hit your own guys. I feel like the Hulk, kind of unpredictable.
Might just go crazy.
Might just go nuts. Right? Indestructible.
You think you've got...
Do a lot of damage.
If you got the Hulk on the other side of the wall...
Maybe, but he can, like, jump, dude.
I know, but I don't think he's going to be focused on the people right next to him. See, I don't... Maybe. If you're going to go, like, on the Legolas Gimli kill basis, who gets the most kills, I don't think the Hulk would get the most kills.
No, I think
he doesn't have the biggest reach.
Because I think his lightning attacks can do...
Will just destroy things.
Yeah. Now, if there was...
Well, he can throw his hammer and get like 20 guys at once.
Right, exactly.
And then sidestep and have it bring back to him and get another 20 guys.
Like my boomerang when I play Link.
Yeah.
So, yes, without preparation. I think with preparation, Tony Stark would do it because he's like a weapons manufacturer. He can take, like... Think of the very first weapon he shows off in Iron Man 1. He'll bring one of those. Boom, he wins.
The Jericho missile?
Yeah. Take out the whole army in one missile strike. It took out the whole mountain. So, like...
I don't know. How...
It's not really fair if Iron Man gets to prepare because he's, like, a weapons developer. And, like, think of his laser that can cut through, like, everything.
Huh?
Remember in the Iron Man 2, all the drones are chasing him, and he has those two little lasers he puts into his, like, gauntlets, and they're one-and-dones, and he just, like, he does a spin, and he just, cuts all the drones in half.
And he has a big old chest laser?
That's after. Yeah. That's a different part, but that's what I'm talking about. Like stuff like that. Like he would come prepared with like one and dones that are just like ridiculous. They like eject out after he does it because they're used.
So we both agree that Captain America would not be any good.
Captain America would be great for morale.
I don't think the people of Middle Earth care at all about the USA.
Buy war bonds today.
I think he would be a great general. I think he could instruct people how to do it well.
I think he'd be a good leader. I don't think he would get the most kills by any means.
Do you think who would win?
Hawkeye would do a good job.
Who would win in a shield sliding competition? Captain America or Legolas?
Dude, Legolas got it.
Down the stairs, you think Legolas would win? No way.
Dude, yeah.
No, remember Captain America, he jumps in the Winter Soldier, he jumps out of the elevator and uses his shield to break his fall. Mm-hmm. Remember? And he kind of just like shakes it off because he's awesome like that?
Right.
You think Legolas would do a bit? Legolas goes down like one story.
You're talking like shield riding. I haven't seen a lot of shield riding by Captain America. He uses his shield very well. However, first off, the design of a shield is more like a sled.
Yeah, it's a saucer. He can go so far.
And Legolas' shield he uses more like a snowboard. So obviously Legolas wins.
But he has, if it's based on distance, Legolas' shield has the 2 pointing ends at the front. I can only assume that once he hits a bump, that's going to go right into the earth and he's going to fly off that thing.
Yeah, but
whereas Captain America is just going to slide his all the way.
Maybe. It's a hard.
You think Legolas would win?
Dude, Legolas is awesome.
I think Captain America is going to be closer to the ground because he has to like huddle on his shield, whereas Legolas will be snowboarding with no footsteps.
Which is way cooler, and he gets bonus points for being cool.
But Legolas has no weight to him, so how far can he go?
I don't know.
Because there might be momentum.
He has some weight. It's just a lot less.
Well, he can stand on top of snow.
It's because they're graceful.
And
somehow that means that they don't go through the snow. I'm not J.R.R. Tolkien. I don't know.
I think Captain America would win in a shield sliding competition.
Yeah, I don't know. Only time will tell.
Who would win?
We'll never know.
I bet Black Widow would beat Aragorn in a fight. Like, no contest.
Yeah, hand-to-hand, 1v1 on FD.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely, she would.
She's more nimble.
She is. I think he's more hardy, if that makes sense. Like, he can take a hit a little easier.
Campbell's soup.
Yes. He's got thick pieces of vegetables in him.
There's not really a good hand-to-hand combatant in Lord of the Rings.
I mean, I think of like Legolas.
Who's stronger, Gandalf or the witch, Scarlet Witch?
That's a good question.
Gandalf doesn't really use a lot of magic. He uses a sword a lot.
He
uses his staff as a light switch. As
a big flashlight.
As a flashlight.
He uses magic a few times. But generally...
He gets spun around real good.
He does.
By Saruman.
He does. In The Hobbit, he uses a little bit of magic too. But it's nothing super crazy. In the books, he does more magic attacks than he does in the movies. And in The Hobbit,
who would be better at fighting a Balrog?
Oh, dude.
Gandalf?
Scarlet Witch is like an unfair advantage because her power is like telekinesis.
I would still think Gandalf is better because he has the actual physical ability of using a sword and piercing the guy's head.
That's true.
Whereas Scarlet Witch can
Plus, Balrogs are super scary, and she needs concentration to be able to do what she does.
Balrogs are terrifying.
Could
she fight a Balrog while free falling?
Dude, definitely not.
In the Mines of Moria?
Dude, Gandalf is like one of the coolest characters in all of film.
That's true. Gandalf is awesome.
He is so cool.
Much better than Dumbledore.
Much better than Dumbledore.
Agreed.
100% agree.
What are we talking about? Thor Ragnarok trailer.
We got really off on a tangent.
I think that's all we have to do with Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It looks really cool.
This trailer got me so excited for this.
Yeah, I mean, it was on my radar because I've watched all the Thor movies, usually when they come out. I generally like Norse mythology. I like Thor. I don't think they're the best Marvel movies by any means, but I do enjoy them, so I go and see them. And this one just seems so different. I'm excited. I'm intrigued by what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Like losing Asgard. Ragnarok, if you don't know that word in Norse mythology, is like the Armageddon word that they have. And if you've read any of the Thor comics, Ragnarok's a really big deal in the comics. I read a series of Thor comics that took place right after Ragnarok, and he was like Thor was like trying to bring everyone back from the dead, and it's just like it's a very important part of Thor's storyline in the Marvel Universe too. So I'm glad that they're bringing it in. I think they're taking a totally different approach than they did in the comics that I read, but no, I'm just really excited. I'm super excited. It looks super fun. What's the guy's name who's the collector-looking guy?
The actor's name?
Yeah. He's in Jurassic Park, Independence Day.
I normally know, but I can't think of it right
now. I can't remember his name. That guy's so funny to me. Like, he's so, like, quippy. I don't know. I'm excited that he's in the Marvel Universe, too.
Mm-hmm.
They're just bringing in all these guys to the Marvel Universe. So I'm like, keep bringing them. Mm-hmm. Bring all Hollywood in. I want to see everybody. Let's do it. Except for a few people.
Who?
Specifically, I don't want to see Elijah Wood.
What?
I don't want to see Elijah Wood.
Why?
I don't. He's Frodo, and that's it.
He could be...
What could he be?
That's DC. Let's say he could be good Shazam, because Shazam's like a little boy, and it turns into, like, Shazam.
Yeah, maybe.
And Elijah Wood's great at being a little kid.
really don't want to see Jennifer Lawrence
Really? Again?
in Marvel because she has those other movies like
Mystique?
I don't want to see Kristen Twilight Kristen
Stewart.
Stewart. I don't want to see her. I don't think she's a good actor.
She might have been in something. I can't remember.
I don't want the guy from Twilight.
Edward Cullen?
Yeah, I don't. Well, the actor's name. I don't know.
Cedric Diggory?
Yes, I don't want him in it.
That's not the actor's name. That's who he played in Harry Potter.
Shush. I don't know. I don't know his name,
Pattinson.
obviously.
Robert Pattinson, I think.
Shiny skin vampire dude.
Yeah.
Don't want him in it. Channing Tatum, I'd like to not see
As Gambit?
in the Marvel Universe. Dude, there's no Gambit movie's not coming out.
You just don't
You
just don't like Channing Tatum.
We've had this discussion on the podcast.
You don't think Channing Tatum would be like a good buff dude for something?
He might be a good goon that makes a little cameo appearance and gets beat his face in by the hammer of Thor. I'd be cool with that.
Which is broken.
Well, maybe it's the very first thing.
That's the first thing in Ragnarok.
He like turns the corner and there's Channing Tatum, throws a punch, boop on the head with the Thor hammer. Then the lady comes around the corner. He's like, "You just hit Channing Tatum." He's like, "Yeah, I did. What are you gonna do about it?" He's like, "Throw that at me." He does. She breaks it. Boom. That's the first part of the movie. First 5 minutes.
What a movie.
That's a good one. I like it.
Let's move on to something less hateful towards Channing Tatum.
More substantial, I would say. It would be the right word.
There was a huge H1Z1 tournament on the CW.
That's a TV channel.
It used to be WB? Maybe? I don't know. CW, I don't know what it stands for, but they changed it like 10 years ago. And I haven't watched TV in like 10 years. Because why would I pay for cable?
Right, because Netflix and streaming.
Yeah. But it was called H1Z1 Fight for the Crown. It was a $300,000 prize pool.
Very nice.
And what I like most about this was the fact that it was just streamed on TV on Thursday night for like prime time. Like 7 p.m. That's
pretty good.
People just got done with dinner. They're sitting down for the rest of the night to watch TV. They're going to watch. CW is a huge channel. They're going to watch the CW. There's a competitive video game on this. Mm-hmm. They're giving TBS a run for their money because TBS does E-League and Overwatch. So now they have this on as well. This is just, from my opinion, this is just good news for video games and esports in general.
Yep, I agree.
I'm super happy with it. I didn't know this was happening.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I don't have cable, so I didn't see commercials for it. Mm-hmm. And I don't play H1Z1, so I didn't pay attention if I saw it on Twitter or something. But I'm glad that this proceeded in that direction.
Yeah, and it's one of those things I always love when, I think it's funny at least, when someone who doesn't play video games sees a TV show that's like esports, or they go to Twitch, or like I show them Twitch for the first time. They just they're like, I don't get this. Why do people want to watch video games?
Yeah, why do people watch video games?
Why? Like, it just is so unfathomable to them. There's no value to them. I laugh so hard because I'm like, it is such a huge market, like, and it's a growing market, and it's gonna be the future.
Yes.
And they just like turn on their judgy eyes, and they're like, oh, a bunch of lazy 22-year-olds who dropped out of college, live in their parents' basement.
I'm gonna go back to my room and watch NFL highlights for the past 20 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And obviously, this is a growing thing, especially with even that. I just saw an article this week about esports scholarships for colleges.
What? I have that on my list. It's right here. Stevens College is the first ever all-women's college to offer varsity esports scholarships for Overwatch.
There you go. That wasn't the article I thought I saw.
We've talked about this in the past about how there's a Big Ten network that does League or Dota.
It's University of Michigan was the article I read.
Yeah,
like it showed like a picture of this esports player and how like he's on a scholarship to play esports.
Yeah,
and I just like thought it was so cool.
I think the first time I read in this article, the first time it ever happened was 2014. So it's 3 years. Obviously, football and baseball have quite a number of years on that.
Yeah,
but definitely. How long have video games been around?
Not nearly as long.
So this one, like I said, Stevens College is the first and only all-women's school to offer a varsity esports scholarship. This is for Overwatch specifically, which I find very interesting because Overwatch has been having a lot of complications recently. One of our favorite Overwatch players, Seagull, was on NRG's competitive team, and he stepped down from their active roster to stream 100% because he said that there's not enough competitive tournaments to he can't split his focus both streaming and playing competitive, and there's not enough in competitive for him to focus solely on that. Because there's not a lot of esports tournaments. So there's an invitational in the fall and there's an invitational in the spring and that's it. Now, if you look at football or something, that's one season is 4 months. But I guess for esports, one tournament in the fall and one tournament in the spring isn't enough.
It's not enough to pay the bills.
No, so Smash is a tournament, a big tournament, at least once a month.
Yeah, I was gonna say
maybe once every 2 months.
It almost seems like once a month. There's something going on.
And then something going on every weekend for Smash, or every Wednesday they play in California that I know of. There's big stuff for Counter-Strike being on TBS, the E-League. That's huge. That's once or twice a year. Dota 2 and League of Legends is always constant. StarCraft is probably constant.
It is.
Overwatch is new and it's still trying to get its footing in the esports league.
Sure.
So I find it interesting that they have an esports scholarship for Overwatch specifically because there's not a lot going on with Overwatch right now. But on top of that, I just think it's just cool that they have a scholarship at all.
Yeah.
Especially in an all-women's school.
Right, because that's stereotypically guys.
Yeah.
Statistically guys. Probably for Overwatch.
Statistically, guys in general just play video games.
Right. I did read that there's a huge segment of moms who play video games.
Does that count mobile games? Because that doesn't count. I would not count that as a gamer. If you play a mobile game, you're not counted as a gamer. I don't care if it's Mario Run.
So I agree with you by if I define the gamer as a true gamer. However, when a fellow teacher, let's say a coworker, says, "Oh, that's kind of weird that you still play video games." I'm like, "Well, do you play games on your phone?" They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You're a gamer." So I turn it on that way. I'm like, why is me playing a game on my computer any different than you playing a game on your phone? You sit on the couch and watch TV and play a game on your phone for an hour and a half.
That's the worst. I hate that.
How
why do you play video
different?
games? Do you go home and sit and watch TV? Yeah. Okay, well, mine takes more brain power.
I know.
And more
or they're you play video games, are so mature. I'm like, okay, what do you do when you go home? I don't go home. I do stuff all the time. I'm like, that's a lie. What do you do in your free time? I don't have free time. You're lying. What do you do in your free time? What do you do? You're like, Netflix. I'm like, exactly.
Justin's so good, he watches Netflix and plays video games at the same time. Multitasking.
It depends on the game.
Multitasking.
When I recently Mass Effect, when I do tasks, which is the lowest level quest, I watch Netflix and do the tasks. They're just grindy things to get loot.
Interesting.
I want the loot! And 100% all the planets. So far, so good.
So next week, we're not done yet. Next week, we're going to talk about Call of Duty World War II because officially the trailer will be released on April 26th, which will be Tuesday. Which will be after this posts.
Yep.
So we'll have more information then. But there was a teaser image released today about Call of Duty confirming that for 2017, Call of Duty is going back to World War II.
That's true.
It's going to be called Call of Duty WWII.
Yep. Which we called a long time ago when they tweeted out they're going back to the roots or whatever announcement they said, which everybody knew what it meant.
Everyone said that.
But I would like to claim that we said it too.
Okay. This is being made by Sledgehammer Games. It's their turn in the rotation. It's going to be their first ever historic shooter.
Okay.
And again, full reveal is going to be on April 26th. Now, what they released was an image. It's an image of a soldier, assumedly from World War II. He has those fatigues on, holding the butt of a rifle, and in his hands, he has some dog tags. And then in his eyes, you can see the reflection of a group of 4 gentlemen. There was some teaser images released much earlier than this, leaked actually, of the concept art, and it's of 5 men invading what we assume is Normandy. It looks like they're on a beach with those big old barriers to stop boats from coming up. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
So some people are speculating that this game, the campaign, because Call of Duty always has a campaign, and honestly, fairly good campaign.
Usually.
More often than not, it's a good campaign.
I'm trying to think the last time I was disappointed with a Call of Duty campaign.
Exactly.
It's been a while.
It's hard.
Usually, at least I'm entertained.
I played...
Ghost was alright.
Ghost was awful.
Ghost was alright.
I couldn't play it. But I played Advanced Warfare, and it was awesome.
I didn't play Advanced Warfare, because I was on the Infinity Ward...
cycle.
Yeah. No, Treyarch games. I was on the Treyarch cycle. Not the Infinity Ward cycle.
Except for Ghosts, which is...
Except for Ghost, which is Infinity Ward. See, I went wrong.
So people are saying that that's the main character that you see in the teaser image, and then the 4 other people you see as a reflection of the 5 people that you see in the first ever released leaked image are going to be like the main squad. I'm kind of thinking that they might take a page out of like
Band of Brothers or something?
Maybe Band of Brothers or Battlefield 1's vignettes system. Although Infinite Warfare. Infinite Warfare.
Yep.
Whatever Call of Duty is happening right now.
Jon Snow campaign.
Yes. People say that campaign story is incredible. They say that you're pretty much a bounty hunter and not so much a marine. And instead of going through a linear game, you kind of have choices. Like, I want to go to this planet now because it takes place in space. So I want to go to this planet. You have options of planets. So you have options of missions, and you can go and do all those in whatever order you want. So that would be interesting to see happen in a game like this, but I don't know how that could happen if you're just following 5 characters.
True.
Because obviously those 5 characters would have a linear path into war-torn Europe. But I think the campaign will be good. I think the reveal that's going to happen on the 26th is going to be a campaign reveal. I don't know if there's going to be much about multiplayer. A lot of the time, I know with Infinite Warfare, they did the multiplayer reveal like 2 weeks before the game came out. So I don't know if you can expect a lot from this reveal if you're looking for multiplayer, but I would like to discuss with you what expectations you have and what you want to see from this World War II, and then next week we can come back and be what we thought was correct, what we thought we can improve on.
Sure. I mean, when it comes to any historical-based game, what I hope to see is something that hasn't been done before. So, like, obviously World War II has been done a crap ton in video games.
But it's awesome.
But World War II also has a lot of stories.
Yes, it does.
And I think that there are a lot of aspects or campaigns or battles in the war that have not been covered adequately. Like, Normandy has been covered, like, in every... Like, the D-Day invasion is in Medal of Honors, it's in Call of Duties, like, you always have those. But I think it would be cool if we got to see, like, maybe the invasion of Sicily or more on the Italian campaign, which we don't see a whole lot of. Maybe, like, Verdun or, like, the really early stuff in the French territory. Maybe he plays the Germans invading the French territory. Something that we haven't seen, like, at the beginning of the war, or, like, the fall of Poland, like, trying to defend, like, maybe you're a Polish soldier trying to hold back these tanks when you guys have horses. Like, maybe that's maybe a little bit ridiculous or whatever. But there's just a lot of aspects of the war that just have not been covered. Usually it's just...
Pretty much the non-American aspects.
Well, the non-American aspects. So there are also... The Sicily's American aspect. There's been some North African stuff in the past, which has been good. But I don't think it's been nearly as covered as, again, France, U.S. troops.
So the last Call of Duty World War II game, I think, was at World at War, and there was a Pacific...
Pretty big Pacific focus
on that, but there's also Russian focus.
Yeah, and I like the Russian focus too.
Or was that Black Ops?
Black Ops had Russian, and Call of Duty 2 had Russian.
Was it?
Because the World War had Russian because the one of the characters from World at War was in Black Ops 1.
And Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3.
He was in all of Black Ops.
Yeah.
In some capacity.
But was Black Ops 1 World War 2?
No.
It was Vietnam.
It was Vietnam. It was like Cold War.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all just there.
So that's why there'd be Russians there, because Cold War and Vietnam.
Yep.
But I guess so the last World War II one would have been World at War.
Yep.
Which was, I believe, Pacific focus.
The campaign was Pacific focus.
Oh my gosh, they had one of my favorite Call of Duty maps, Castle, on World War II. World at War? Do you remember that one? I remember in my head, I just remember it being huge. Yep. Like, it doesn't feel huge, but when I look back, I'm like, oh, there's that spot over there in the courtyard with all the bricks. There's the middle part,
there's
the
spots.
castle. Like, I've wanted them to remake that level for so many Call of Duties so far, and they just haven't.
So I just hope that they take some new aspects to it.
I like the Pacific focus. You don't see that a lot in games.
No, you don't. I think it's a good one too. A lot of historically, a lot of island hopping. It'd be cool to see like the Philippines when at the very beginning of the war when we pull out, kind of the Japanese invasion and trying to be a U.S. soldier or Filipino soldier trying to hold back the Japanese onslaught. long enough to get MacArthur off the island, which is essentially what they did at the beginning. That'd be kind of cool because we've never seen that in a video game before.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's the prologue. Maybe that's like the mission, and then you come back. You know, like there are a lot of different ways that this could be.
You want to see something you haven't seen before.
I expect there to be D-Day, and I think it's fine. It's one of the most iconic battles of the war for the U.S. at least.
Of any war.
I mean, it's the biggest amphibious landing of all time, so kind of important if you like military history. But I do want to see some aspects that I haven't seen before because World War II has been done so many times before.
Do you want to see it, comparing it to Battlefield 1? Do you want to see a vignette style where there's different people, or do you want different people? Whereas like tank commander, flyer, there's infantry, there's
no, because I don't think Call of Duty is good at that. I don't think they've done all right with tanks in the past, in like tank warfare.
But you think Battlefield's like the vehicle?
But I think Battlefield does a much better job with vehicles and kind of the maps around vehicles. All the Call of Duty maps are very linear. Battlefield maps are generally pretty far open.
I just gotta say, I'm so excited for just even talking about it right now. Like remembering what Call of Duty used to be like.
Yeah.
In like World at War and I guess Black Ops 1. I'm just so excited for what this could be.
Be prepared. We've never seen microtransactions in World War II before.
I know. I don't know what that's going to be like. Normally, microtransactions don't start until about 3 months into the game's life cycle. Normally, the first DLC. Maybe it'll start early. I don't know. But if I were to buy a Call of Duty game for $60 and I got 3 months of play out of it, where I played a lot, where I played every day or every other day, which is what I normally do with Call of Duty, that might be a fair deal.
I mean, to me, if you get over 60 hours in a game, it was a good value game.
The Last of Us is less than 60 hours. The Last of Us is like 14 hours.
That's true. But that game...
Is that below value?
This is a general rule. It doesn't necessarily apply to everything the same. Last of Us is an amazing game. And an hour in The Last of Us, to me...
is worth $60.
Is worth way more than an hour on a Call of Duty game. Much more emotionally impacting. Much more... The storytelling's way better.
I don't know. Because... just on an hour-by-hour basis, just take an hour slice out of The Last of Us, just anywhere. Like, if you could only play The Last of Us for an hour every night, I don't know if I would play it or if I would wait till I could get, like, 3 hours in.
Well, I'm not saying hour by hour. I'm saying just, like, if you divide up the hours...
You get more enjoyment out of 1 hour?
The average hour of... Like, there's more
enjoyment
value...
per hour?
Yeah, it's like value per hour is way higher in like, an Uncharted. Because I obviously didn't get 60 hours in Uncharted.
It took you a whole year to beat it, though.
Okay, well, I didn't buy it until like 3 months ago, so.
I don't know. Call of Duty is always the most fun when you play with people.
True.
When you play with a group. Also, as I mentioned before, I really like Call of Duty because it gives you those added challenges. Get so many headshots with this game, with this gun. You get this camo, or do whatever. I've always liked it.
You always really get into those.
I do. I
really did not.
I got Black Matter and Black Ops 3 pretty quick. Dark Matter? I don't know what it's called.
It just gets really ridiculous. To me, it's like too much. It's like, I don't even care.
No, there's a lot of stuff.
And it's okay, because it doesn't hurt me that it's there.
It's kind of like trophies. Kind of, for some games. I'll go out of my way to get trophies for things. But I don't know. Speaking of games that we would like to play together, I just recently bought PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which is streaming a lot on Twitch. Yeah. I'm not, but it's normally like the top 5 most viewed on Twitch as of late. So essentially, it's made from H1Z1. He made his own thing. It's pretty much the same map, maybe. I don't know. Same textures and same assets that are used in it, as I believe. Essentially, it's a battle royale, which essentially means, think of it as the Hunger Games. You drop down from a helicopter onto this island. You versus, if it's a solo... Airplane, what did I say?
Helicopter.
Whatever. It's you versus 99 other people.
True.
And the last person alive wins. Very much like the Hunger Games. I've been playing it. I've been trying to get you to play it. You just got done playing it.
Yeah.
Because
you asked me during a very poor week for me.
Yeah, you were.
I haven't played any video games really at all this week.
Because I just bought it like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And then you were very busy, so I said you should play this. You said I can't. But you came here.
I did.
And you played a little bit.
I did. Loved it. Holy cow.
You are all about it,
dude. I'm into this game real quick.
Hopefully, we will be playing that together.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll talk.
It's a PC game. I didn't mention that.
Did you want to talk about that now, or did you want to talk about it in the future episode?
We can talk a little bit about now, then we can talk a little bit in the future.
Yeah, so
I am not a PC gamer, so I have to. I literally have to take breaks after like half an hour of playing because my hand cramps. So it's not used to that.
Yeah, I'm used to. I grew up like my first shooter was on PC.
Mm-hmm.
All like my first like Star Siege Tribes was huge. The first one, Call of Duty 2, I had on PC. What were the other games I had? I had a couple other shooters on PC, so I was like used like always been used
my
to
hand
it.
cramps.
Bad Company 2 I played on PC like crazy.
I just downloaded that.
Bad Company 2 is so much fun.
Yeah, I'm like, because I wasn't sure if I was gonna buy Battlegrounds, so I'm like, maybe I'll just get a different shooter.
Dude, the campaign is hilarious.
So that's why I played it, because I played it on the PS3 or PS2, whatever it came out on. I'm like, this is so funny, and I'm like, well, maybe if I get into a shooter, maybe this will get my shooter fix. But I've been playing PlayerUnknown. I've been playing Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
So much fun.
You're on high alert the whole time because you get shot at from any angle.
Yeah.
Because you spawn in with nothing. You land, you jump out of the airplane, you parachute down. You get to choose where you land, and you start with nothing. You have to loot houses until you find weapons. Sometimes you find weapons, sometimes you don't. Sometimes people will find better weapons than you, and then you have to fight them off.
True.
And there's a circle on the map, and it's always constricting. You have to get inside the circle, because outside the circle you'll get hurt by this like electrical field. So you have to get on the inside, and once you're inside, you don't get hurt by the electrical field. The whole point of the circle is to, because the map is so large, to force people in to make the games faster. The highest I got was number 6 out of 100. I made it to top 10 only once, and it was funny because I only got like, of the 100 people that are in there, including myself, I got 2-3 kills that round maybe, and I made it all the way to number 6. The game after that, I got 5 kills and was out at 50. But I went in, I'm like, I need to get more kills. A funny thing happened to me today.
Yeah.
Like I said, sometimes you'll loot a weapon or somebody else will loot a weapon, and there'll be a variance between what you have and what somebody else has. I had a pistol because it was right at the very beginning. The pistol's the weakest. I had a pistol and I had some ammo for it. And I was running into this house, and I saw 2 people inside of it, and they were just punching each other. They're just decking each other out, and there's like, melee doesn't have a lot of effect in this game, but they're trying to punch. They're fighting to the death. And I walk in with my pistol, I just like shoot it at them, and because I'm still bad at PC, I missed every single shot. But both of them they stopped punching, they looked at me, and then just spread in different directions. They just ran around. So I'm like, okay, well I'm gonna chase these guys down. So I chased one down and got him real good. The other guy got a pistol while I was chasing them. The other guy came up and got me. Somehow he missed every single shot, and I had time to reload and turn on him, and then I just popped a few in his chest and he went down.
Nice.
And I'd stopped playing. I'm like, this is awesome. This is so cool.
I know, it's like high stakes.
Yes.
Very intense.
It's a game. I don't know if I've talked about it before on the podcast, but I know I've talked about it in person. That I just want a big game like this where you have one life, and after that, it's over.
Yeah.
Which is what this is. There's no respawning. If you're out, it tells you this is what rank you got out of 100. Go back to the lobby and restart.
Yeah.
So you've played 2 games.
I played 2 rounds. First round, I literally jumped out of the seat because I was so scared when I got killed. So I was, like you said, you're on high alert the entire time because you're like on this giant island and this circle is constricting, and so you're trying to make your way towards the middle of the circle so that way you're always like, on the inside of it, but you also got to loot all these houses, man, because you can't just like run around with bare knuckles and expect to win. So looting all these houses, get some weapons, get some gear. They hadn't seen anybody. I played for like probably 8 minutes, didn't see anybody, and I was like, dude, where is everyone? And so I like run to the top of this hill, trying to make my way to the middle of the circle or closer to it, and I go inside this house, which none of the doors were open. I was like, oh, nobody's in there because all the doors are closed. Yeah. That's easy. As soon as I open the door, turn the corner, I'm dead. I literally jumped out of my seat. I was like, oh my gosh! And Tony and his wife were upstairs. They literally started laughing as soon as I did it because they heard me. I freaked out so loud. That was a lot of fun. It just got my blood pumping. Then the second round, I made it to 16. So the first time I made it to 64. Yeah. Second game, 16th. And that one was fun. I got a couple kills, hunted down a couple guys. One guy was just like literally standing. And
he had nothing.
I don't think he even was playing really. But I killed him. Got a couple other kills. My favorite part was this one guy. I started getting shot at from really far away, and I was like, oh my gosh, where's it coming from? So I was like, I'm just going to run to this building that's like 100 yards away. Mm-hmm. I did the zigzag run, which I learned from watching World War I documentaries about...
Serpentine.
Yeah, about bayonet charges. And I did that, made it there, and I was like, dude, this guy's going to follow me in here because he definitely saw me. So I go up to the attic, and there's only one way into the attic, and I go prone with a fully automatic gun, and I just sit there and wait for him. And then I heard the... because I closed the door behind me, and hear the thuk, as he's like walking around the downstairs, and then he like comes up the stairs.
Where is this going?
To the side because he thinks I'm like hiding up next to the banister or something. If he goes up there, but I'm like literally right in front of the steps because I thought I should just do this. And I lay there, and as soon as he pops up, I go, I get the kill, and I go, yes, because I got so excited that I got the kill, and that I hunted down this guy who totally had advantage over me earlier, so it felt really good. And then I got run over by a car.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's how it ended.
I was like, the circle was getting really small. We were less than 20 people. I saw this thing airdrop happen. Mm-hmm. I was out in the middle of the open, so I was like, I'm just going to go prone and just crawl towards this thing, and then some guy's going to try and get it. I'm going to shoot him. And then out of nowhere, this Jeep just like comes over the hill, and it comes towards me, and I'm like, I'm dead. I know this is it.
I can't get out.
And then I like tried to jump out of the way, but it was too late.
Yeah.
I was donezo.
It's super fun, and it's only $30.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
One of your friends plays it. I don't know if he listens to the podcast, but he should definitely play with us.
He definitely should.
So hopefully in the future
we'll get some streams
be playing and we'll be streaming.
Yeah,
because I think that'll be a lot of fun.
That would be so much fun.
But I think that's all we have for today.
That is all we got. All she wrote.
Next week,
Call of Duty.
We'll be talking about Call of Duty reveal.
Probably talk a little bit more about Battlegrounds.
Yeah,
depending on when I can get it downloaded. Well, assuming my computer can handle it. That's the big caveat.
Pretty bare bones.
I hope. Yeah, I mean, it didn't look too bad. It looked like something I could run.
Well, I had mine on minimum settings because...
It runs the best.
Well, mine ran just fine on high settings, but because I think everybody else is playing on minimum settings, so if I have the least amount of interference between the world and the character and the other characters, I'll feel like I can see them better.
Yeah, sure.
Who knows? Anyway, that's it. If you want to watch us play video games every once in a while...
We stream on Twitch.
Underpaid Gamers.
And we always tweet about it beforehand. That being said, if you want to get the updates as soon as they happen, follow us on Twitter.
At UP Gamers Podcast. Sometimes we upload videos to our YouTube channel once or twice a week.
Usually. Yep.
Podcast episodes and video episodes of us playing video games.
Yep.
That's at Underpaid Gamers.
Yep.
If you want to send us words of encouragement, you can email us at underpaidgamerspodcast@gmail.com.
True.
We have a website, underpaidgamers.com.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Google Play.
Please give us a review, a rate, a star, a thumbs up, a comment of good things, and share us with your friends, because we would appreciate growing this wonderful community.
If you share us with one friend, and that one friend shares us with one friend, that's not you. You can be in this community. You ever been a part of a community before? You ever sit there on yourself and you're just alone and you're just like, man, I really wish I could talk to somebody about video games or talk to somebody about a shared interest?
Or, man, I just wish I could play with somebody on Twitch right now.
Yes.
That happens. That's like one of my favorite things that we do. You know, we've got a few people who listen to us, who some of them are friends in real life, some of them aren't. Like IRL.
Not because we don't want to be friends
but because
with them.
we've not met them in person.
Because they live many states away.
Yeah, so people online we've met. It's like one of my favorite things that we get to occasionally play games with them and talk with them on Discord, and it's just like I would never have ever talked to this person before if we hadn't been doing this podcast and if we hadn't been streaming this game. It's so cool to me.
True dat.
I like that a lot. So
thanks for listening.
Yeah.
To our Hodgepodge episode.
That's what we got.
We'll see you next week.
See you later.